One of the recurring themes in Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act, is this concept of tuning in to the world around you, tuning in to what's going on inside of yourself, as you look for clues that might tell you how you can move forward with the creative project that's in front of you right now. And there's one metaphor in particular that Rubin shares that I think about regularly that resulted in this sketch behind me, and I want to share that with you. Let me read from the book. The more open you are, the more clues you will find and the less effort you'll need to exert. You may be able to think less and begin to rely on answers arising within you. You might imagine that the outside world is a conveyor belt with a stream of small packages on it always going by. Your first step is to notice that the conveyor belt is there. And then, anytime you want, you can pick up one of those packages, unwrap it, and see what's inside. Thinking of the outside world as a conveyor belt that is constantly providing you with packages, the things you see on your drive to work, the conversations you overhear when you're getting your morning coffee, whatever you happen to notice when you look out your window. Literally an infinite number of packages, any of which you could unwrap to see what's inside. While reading this book and getting excited about that idea of tuning in, I also happened to be in an office space in Portland, Oregon, where I used to live, that was right downtown, and during a full week there was loud construction going on right outside the building that happened to involve a lot of jackhammering that started at 9 a.m. and went on for hours. And for multiple days, I was very annoyed by that noise. It made it hard for me to focus on my work. I worried that the sound would bleed into the online workshops that I was hosting, and it just felt like a nuisance. And it took me multiple days of reading about tuning in, considering this idea of the universe's conveyor belt, to shift the way that I was viewing that situation, and to acknowledge that okay, maybe it is a nuisance on one level, but on another, it's a source of inspiration. It's a gift that I could unwrap. In my case, as a visual thinker, I'm always on the lookout for interesting visual metaphors. And the jackhammer is a pretty good one. You've got this road that people have been driving on, systems underneath for moving water and electricity. And for a period of time, those systems do what they're intended to. People use those roads to get where they need to go. The piping underneath takes water and electricity where it needs to go. But sometimes something breaks. You get a pothole, a pipe springs a leak, or needs have changed to the point where you need to do something to that system. It might be noisy and it might be inconvenient, but you need to break up that structure so that you can build a better one. And that's not a bad metaphor for creative work. Sometimes you need to take a jackhammer to your own established rules so that you can build a new system that maybe affords different degrees of creative freedom and that help you to find and use your own authentic voice. So as it turns out, I like that metaphor of a jackhammer, and I would have missed it entirely if I hadn't been open to the universe's conveyor belt and been on the lookout for packages that it was sending me that I could receive and open up. So what started out as an inconvenience of modern life turned into a new and rich visual metaphor that I can use in my own work, and that even influences how I think about creativity in general, all thanks to the other visual metaphor that Rubin uses to describe that, thinking of the outside world as a conveyor belt. This book is rich in metaphor and in overall wisdom. If you do any sort of creative work at all, I highly recommend picking it up. And if you'd like to see me sketch out some of my other favorite ideas from the book, you can find that video on my channel as well. If you'd like to learn how to sketch out the good ideas you're coming across in the books you're reading or the podcast you're listening to, that's a skill that I teach at verbaltovisual.com. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for that conveyor belt, and I'll see you next time.